Hello everybody and welcome back to DIY Diecast. My name is Joe and this is a follow-up video to the Temu airbrush unboxing video, which I released just a couple days ago. I wanted to show you guys the results I had using this. I'll give you my total and full honest opinion on this in just a bit, but using this portable, very handy airbrush and very affordable, and lots of other great things about this thing too. Airbrush that I purchased from Temu. First thing I want to talk about is just to get some people caught up in case you did not get to see that video. It would be a great one to go back and watch. This is a beauty airbrush system airbrush that I purchased from Temu, and it was $12.51. Then tax and everything around 15 bucks total. It did arrive in about a week and a half as far as arrival times. I know some things from Temu can typically take a while, but this was here in about a week and a half, and some come locally warehouse too. There are a lot of different places that sell these and the same thing on Temu for different prices, and they're in different places too. So shop around, and also make sure that you select the actual color that you want, or they may send you whatever they feel like. So anyway, we'll just get right into the video. I don't want to make this a terribly long one. I did want to share with you my honest thoughts and opinions on the Temu brand, and show you the results that I have from the 3 vehicles that I showed you when the original video dropped. Alright, so let's start like this. I got some good news and I got some bad news for you. So where do we start? If you want the good news first, scream. Okay, if you want the bad news first, scream. Okay, I got you. Okay, you can stop screaming now. Okay. Alright, the bad news is, in the process of painting these cars, I did damage or break the Temu airbrush. And we'll get to that. Luckily, I was able to pull off a couple of paint jobs and a nice primer job to show you how well this thing does work. I'll take you through how I broke it, what happened. It's something that can very easily be done. I'm sure somebody else has done it too. I can't be the only one who broke this thing in this way. But it was totally my fault. It was not Temu's fault. It was not the fault of the airbrush. In my opinion, it's a slight quality issue, but nonetheless, I did break it. I'll come and grab you now, set the camera up a little bit closer, and we'll start getting in on the details of the finished products I have for you to look at. Hang tight. Alright, so those of you who caught the first video, you will remember the 3 stripped down vehicles I had. The first one being the 67 or the 69 Chevy C10. That was available in both years as far as the body casting, what they called it. That was one. There I have it in a nice primer example for you. The next one was the Chevy cargo van. Kind of a cargo van. It's got one window on the side there, and does have 2 windows in the back. So I had that one too, that was stripped down. And then my favorite of the 3, the Pikes Peak Rally Toyota. And I was able to pull off 2 paint jobs, obviously, and got one in primer. I got this one done first, got it painted and cleared. So we got a great example to look at there. This one also painted but not cleared. And then another example of what this thing will do, just laying down primer on the Chevy C10. And we'll go ahead and get right into these. Alright, since you're going to start with the primer vehicle, let's start with the primer vehicle first. Let's look at the job that the Temu airbrush did on the primer. And you will see, I'll try to get it in all different lights here. It's pretty smooth. It did a fantastic job, and the better the prep work you do, the better the results you'll get, of course, on anything. And it came out really, really good. I'm very, very happy with the way that it laid down the primer on all three of these vehicles. Did a fantastic job on the primer. Very, very nice, smooth finish. Okay, moving right along to the van. Okay, now the van here. Alright, the van here I did in a light metallic silver, and it was more of a metallic nail polish than it was a metallic flake. So very, very smooth, very impressive finish. Did not take many coats. You can still see the outlines of the doors, and I did not lose the body lines having to lay down too many layers of paint. I think it took about 3 on top of the same color of rust oxide brown colored primer that I used. It did a very, very good job, as you can see. Alright, and the third one is the Pikes Peak Toyota Celica. Alright, this one had a little bit more metallic flake in it, and you can see it is a little bit it's kind of orange peeled, if you can see that in the light there. Up close in a very bright light, you can see the metallic flake chunks in that thing. It's a little bit bumpy. Now from a foot away, 2 feet away, it looks fantastic. You get it up close, it is a little bit bumpy, and we're going to talk about that. But overall, a very nice paint job. I don't feel like I need to do anything except for paint in some more details, some of the lights and things on it, and then I'll assemble it. While I have this here talking about it, I want to show you how fantastic the interior is on the Pikes Peak Toyota Celica. It's full on race in there. So I did paint the inside silver to replicate the sheet metal that would be inside of a race car. I touched up the roll cage with some red because I thought it would really pop once the vehicle came together. Give you some idea of what that's going to look like. You really can see a lot of the details on this car through the windows. And then I have selected these wheels with real rubber tires. I love them for my imports, and yeah, I think it's going to look really, really good with that red. And I should have this car all put together and completed by the time this weekend's weekly show rolls around. So look for the total finished build on the Pikes Peak Celica in an upcoming video. The weekly video, the Diecast Collect Show with Joe, coming up this weekend. Okay, and while I'm at it, let me go ahead and show you how cool the orange interior, how cool that matches with this silver paint job in the van here. Yeah, I'm really digging that silver with the orange interior in there. I wish you could see more of it. It is what it is, but when I get this thing completed, I will also share it in an upcoming video. I don't know, maybe I'll have it done by this weekend show. I'm gonna get the Celica done for sure. I'll do my best on this one. I want to take my time because I believe I will be lifting this one. Some big old real rubber monster gumbo tires on this dude. Alright, now let's talk about why there's such a difference in the paint job quality between the Pikes Peak Celica and the van. Okay, to show you, I will use these 2 examples of paint. Alright, now I have 2 examples here of the reason why that paint job came out better on one and not so much on the other, even though they were both metallic. Okay, now there is a difference in nail polishes, and of course I used the bottles up of the other ones, so I'm going to use these because they were so similar as far as metallic texture. Okay, now you have metal, you have metallic, and I don't know if you can see very, very fine mist of metallic inside of this metallic finish. example right here, okay? And then you're going to see a big difference when I show you this one. And this, you clearly have a lot. You can see all that metallic in there. It's kind of pearlescent. It kind of changes colors, but some bigger, almost glitter consistency. Big difference in the amount of metallic flake between the two, okay? So the van came out so well because it was metallic finish, but it didn't have these glittery things, chunks, which you can see in this paint. And that is the reason that you're seeing a slight orange peel there when you examine this car closely, because and those are visible. It's really hard to tell, you know, on a cell phone camera in this lighting, but you can see the chunks of glitter in there. Did make for a rather it's just not a smooth finish, and that's why, okay? And it was honestly a pain in the butt. The nozzle got clogged up a couple of times because of those metallic flakes. And what I'm trying to say here is you are going to have a hard time trying to paint with this airbrush system with these heavily metallic flake. I would really try to avoid them. They're best for a real professional airbrush setup where you can change the settings. You have a much more broader selection of a variety of settings to set things to. You got more PSI. You got more size of needles and orifices to control the flow, and you could do a better job with an actual airbrush. But for the Temu portable airbrush that we are reviewing here, I would stick to the metallic finishes, and you're just going to get these much smoother, great finishes that still have some metallic in it. Looks great. Then, of course, the primer, nice and smooth, just like it should be. Overall, does a really good job. It's a great tool. Alright, so the bad news. What happened to the datgone airbrush? Okay, here's what happened. So, shooting that metallic through this thing, it really kept clogging it up. And I had to take this thing apart a couple of times to complete that paint job on that silica. And when you clean an airbrush, typically you really don't need to be taking anything apart from this part of the body back. Usually all your cleaning is done in the hopper, the tip, the needle, and this area right here, okay? But I had cleaned all this out a couple of times, still had problems trying to shoot that heavy metallic flake through there, and put it all back together, and it was still kind of giving me some problems. So I thought maybe it got gunked up back here. I went ahead and took this apart, and now here's what happened, okay? So you got a plastic, this piece is plastic, and the body is metal here, okay? Now I don't know if you do a lot of plumbing or you have in your lifetime, but if you try to put copper and copper pipes together that are threaded and you screw them, they go together pretty well, okay? But if you use galvanized metal and then copper and put them together, you know, they don't want to go together so well. Same thing with plastic and metal. Plastic trying to thread into metal, it's not a good connection. So what happened was, after a couple times of taking this apart, I should explain, I'm a very OCD person. OCD, of course, being short for excessive compulsive disorder. I'm that guy that closes the door, walks out of the room, turns around, goes back, and keeps pulling on the door handle a couple times before I leave completely to make sure that the door was closed. So if you've ever been working on things and tightening up bolts on something, you'll know that you get the bolt tight, right, when you're trying to tighten it, and then it doesn't want to turn anymore. You're probably good, but you think, all right, now I'll just go a quarter more turn past one more time, and now to really make it snug and right. Well, that's what I did, and it was too much, and it just completely rounded out that plastic there and stripped it out. Totally my fault, not the fault of the gun. This could have been made of metal, and it would have been so much better. Might not have happened at all, but, you know, trying to paint with that thing, and that, you can see when you pull the trigger back, it just, boop, it just shoves that thing back there. And you could paint without this, but you'd have to keep holding this thing to keep pressure on it from the trigger there. So I'll be tossing, well, I won't be tossing this. I will be keeping this because here's the next thing I want to talk about. Battery life on the compressor. 20 minutes on high is the battery expectancy on this thing. So at least I can keep this now, order me another one, and I have a backup one always charged, ready to go in case I'm doing bigger jobs, or I just always have one charged. So at that price, you know, I got an extra compressor and charged battery laying around, and of course some other parts that I can use that came with the gun, I can always use with my other one. Something I did forget to point out in the first video as well, a viewer left a comment. He was correct in saying that when I showed these in the first video, I referred to them as mixing bottles. While you can mix paint in them, more correctly, what they are actually is, oh, still got some cleaner in there, that's okay. What they are actually is larger capacity bottles or hoppers, and where you can mix up a lot larger batches of paint and spray it. So I did use this much larger one when I was painting the vehicles there. Alright, one other issue to mention real quick, the hose that this thing came with, okay? So I did attach this, and I didn't leave it on very long at all. This hose is very, very stiff. It's not, maybe if you used it a lot, it would get a little bit more elastic and more easy to use, but it's very, very stiff. I found that while trying to paint with the gun on it like this, it just wanted to sling that like a spring. It wanted to sling that compressor and battery back at me, and I didn't care for that at all. I was just dragging around the compressor. So I didn't prefer using this thing at all. Something more flexible would have been better. Like I say, maybe if you, you know, stretched it out a bunch, used it a bunch, it might be better, but I did not like painting using this airbrush with this hose at all. Alright, so now it is time for my final opinion, and one other thing too. Okay, well, two other things actually, and try to get through this really quick. Okay, so the thinning mixture, okay? I said 1:1 in the first video. That's a great place to start. That is the starting place, the recommended starting place for mixing your lacquer thinner with your nail polish. I found that I actually, to shoot it through this Temu gun, due to the lower PSI, I believe, I had to thin it down to a 1 to 1.5 ratio was the best, okay? You really want it thin with these lower PSI guns. The consistency of milk, that's the best way I can describe it to you. It should be just slightly heavier than water, but it should pour like water. It should not pour anything like syrup. It shouldn't even pour like fast moving syrup. It should be very, very milky in texture. That's when you know it's the correct texture to run through your gun, so that you don't fog it up and have all the problems I did, and then you go taking things apart and breaking them. Alright, next, in the cleanup process or whatnot with nail polish, okay, guess what works better, I found, than paint thinner? A little bit obvious, I guess, but yes, nail polish remover actually works better. Now watch out, this stuff will stink up your entire workshop and a room, and if you got the HVAC system running, possibly your entire house, this stuff is strong. Do this in a very well ventilated area, and it works so much faster. After you clean out your gun, fill the hopper up with some of this, spray it all good through there. It does a really, really fast job of cleaning your gun. Also, I didn't mention the drying times on the finishes. Fantastic. Another big benefit of painting with this system and the nail polish. These were realistically dry in around 20 minutes to a half an hour. If you can imagine how fast they design nail polish to dry, because you know, if you put nail polish on your fingernails, you wouldn't want to be sitting around waiting hours like you would with regular paints for your nails to dry before you could go do anything. So you know, and they'll probably dry faster than that. That's just the time that I went back and checked on them, and they were good. Alright, so my final opinion, this is a fantastic tool, guys and ladies. A fantastic value, so portable. Had a couple of downfalls there. Broke the daggone thing, but again, was my fault. Everything else worked fine, and you get a lot of great extra accessories with this thing. Lays down a really good finish. Unless you want to do those highly metallic, glittery kind of metallics, which a lot of people don't use anyway. Let's be honest. They won't work on a lot of cars, sometimes lowrider finishes and stuff like that anyway. But if you want to use that kind of stuff, you're still better off sticking to your professional airbrush, where you got a lot more options on orifice sizes for your needle, and the PSI adjustments are a lot greater. Alright, so I think it's a great value at $12 and something. Hey, you just can't lose. And that's my honest opinion on this thing. I do not get paid by Temu or endorsed. I actually had to buy this, and would I buy it again? Absolutely. I already have. I've ordered another one. As I was saying earlier, I'm just going to have a backup compressor now and some extra parts for it. So I think it's a great deal. Long as you thin out properly, do a good thorough clean out job on the thing as you would with a regular airbrush, and there's no reason this thing shouldn't last you a reasonably long time, and you get a lot of fantastic paint jobs out of it. Alright, that's going to do it for this show. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like, and think about subscribing if you're not subscribed. I got close to 200 videos already, and we're just getting started. Lots of new great content coming out. When you subscribe, it's absolutely free, and you'll be notified when the next video drops. Until next time, have a good one. We'll see you.